So Kendra is trending on TikTok, which reminded me of Kendra Wilkinson, and we're on part 24 of December 2nd birthday decode. So again, when you see social media and things like that, and you are already did your birthday decode, or I did it for you, you kind of could understand what they're putting out. So we mentioned Wilkinson in part 23. So this guy named Richard H. Wilkinson, who's an Egyptologist, and we were talking about the god and goddesses of Egypt and the ones that you need to know that are related to your astral sign, where we were talking about Horus. So Wilkinson comes up, which is the last name of Kendra Wilkinson. So he writes all these books about Egyptology. So you definitely want to look into that energy right there. And a lot of times in social media, they want to get your energy focused on something. There's a movie called Practical Magic, and they needed more people to do some witchcraft, so they called 12 other ladies to come into the room to recite things, to say things, to get energy. So whenever social media says something over and over again, or they trend Kendra, they're trying to make you channel that name or channel that energy so they could use their magic in the spiritual realm. So being that I remembered Kendra Wilkinson as soon as I saw the name Kendra come up on my TikTok page, because Kendra, the other Kendra on TikTok, she's actually, she fell in love with a psychiatrist, and she was telling her story how she left the psychiatrist because she fell in love with the psychiatrist. Her spouse's name is Hank Basket. So they're trying to say she's in psychosis and that she is, basically, she's a basket case, right? But that's trending right there. So Wilkinson writes about the eye of Horus, which is your left eye, and the eye of Ra, which is your right eye. So I always think about Left Eye, the rapper who passed away tragically in the car accident, and how she was at Dr. Sebi's getting good food and channeling energy. So again, repeating this name Kendra and getting to psychiatry, psychosis, and what is truly psychosis. So what is really, are you going crazy, or are you just channeling? Or is both happening at the same time, right? Because channeling, if you're channeling the truth and you end up on the spiritual realm, you end up seeing CIA, FBI, other god and goddesses, you see each other. And it might be scary at first because no one tells you that you could travel in spiritual realm to meet people. Just her case doesn't seem, she's going through whatever she's going through, telling a story about her psychiatrist and her leaving the psychiatrist. But when you're doing your god and goddesses, like I said, when you channel your birthday, when you understand your birthday decode, social media is going to start to tap into your consciousness. So you want to know when they say Kendra Wilkinson is linked to your birthday, December 2nd, because Horus is the deity or the energy or the nectar of your astral spiritual energy from ancient Egypt mythology. So we talked about Beyonce and the Levi Jeans, and Sydney Sweeney Todd, the president, Mary Todd Lincoln. It's basically the energy, Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the Eagles. He plays for American Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. So when I think about Philadelphia, when I was doing your birthday decode, Philadelphia does come up. So we definitely want to understand. So 9-4 Beyonce, we talked about gematria, 9-4 coming up with Blue Ivy Carver, Sophia Robot, and how they're channeling energy into artificial intelligence because they need energy to power the robots. Like Rosie the Robot, the George Jensen, Jeff Bezos is like George Jetson. And what do they have in George Jetson? The redheads. So again, your DNA links to memory. So red hair, blue eyes, Lemurian, blonde hair, these are all memory codes that could be programmed into a computer code using the genome from DNA. So you want to know, it's based off names, birthdays, numerology, gematria, and rituals. So knowing your birthday, December 2nd, is related to these energies. So again, Kendra Lee Wilkinson, and the guy who studies Egyptology, and Kendra trending on TikTok. And this is her page if you want to go watch the rest of her videos about how she fell in love with a psychiatrist and then left him later. And if you didn't watch my last video, it was about recess with jeans and blue eyes and dominant and recess going outside, which led to the Eye of Horus, which led to the gematria codes of Levi and the jeans war they're having right now, the Levi tribe Haiti. And if you want to screenshot the gematria codes and the matching numbers, like 188, Sydney Sweetie, and 188, Blue Ivy Carver. And then 94 popping up for like Alien, Sophia, Beyonce, American Eagle, the Doublehead Eagle, Philadelphia Eagles. Blue Eyes, 9-4. So just press pause, read Alien. All these things are related. And again, it goes back to Lemuria and DNA and codes from Melanesians and the DNA from there. And the blonde hair on black people, so black people could wear blonde hair wigs because they have the genetic codes. Because people be like, why are you wearing blonde hair? Because I can, and I can have blue eyes and blonde hair and be brown skin. Thank you. So Yeah. So basically, Beyonce could have the same blue eye genes that Sydney has, right? But technically, they have different genes. It's like the DNA marker for this blonde hair is a different DNA marker for other blonde hair. Hmm. And this is for December 2nd, 1995, specifically this birthday that I booked. And everybody waiting for me to do your birthday decodes, thanks for waiting. I'm going to get them done. Which relates back to Brittany. Brittany's brown hair, but she dyes her hair blonde, but she's a singer, Lemurian, Neptune, singers, energy. Like I said, go watch the Gods of Egypt, washed down version of what you need to learn, because that's going to represent your energy for the god and goddesses of Egypt, Toys R Us, Horus. And I was saying how Osiris and Isis is the mother and father of Horus, and how Nephthys and Set and Anubis. So Nephthys is the twin of Isis, and basically when they were twins, they wanted to play a trick on their husbands, so they switched beds to see if the husbands would know they were in each other's bed by their energy. So Set, which is Scorpio, was like, I know you're not my wife, Isis, so where's my wife? And Nephthys, the Pisces, was like, hey, your wife's in bed with my husband, Osiris. So he got upset, and that's how Set gets upset. It's a setting. He was set up. It's a movie set. He's energy. He's chaos. He's what energy is when someone gets upset. So basically, Nephthys, the Pisces, got pregnant with Anubis, and Set, the Scorpio, was like, how do I know that's my baby? Because you were, sleeping with your brother-in-law, right? And she was like, no, it's your baby. So Anubis came out with blue eyes, and he says, you know what, Nephthys, which is Pisces, like, we don't have blue eyes, we both have brown eyes, so why this baby got blue eyes? You were sleeping with Osiris, because Osiris has blue eyes. And she was like, no, I wasn't. Because back then they don't know about recessive genes, I guess. So she really could not have cheated. Anyways, Set is like, oh no, you had this baby with Osiris. So the Twin Towers represents a little bit about that energy right there, okay? So when you see like this happen, it's representing a lot of this happening. So again, that's why Eye of Horus has a cheetah, because when you think about the parents of Horus and what Set thought of them, Set, the Scorpio, thought his mother was a cheetah, a cheater, right? And then that's what that is about. And then it's also called Horus. What do you call someone? A whore. So Set was like, you're a whore, and he's a cheater. You're a cheater and a whore, and you gave, that's basically what they called his mother Isis. Like that's the whole thing of Horus, the cheetah. Basically, the twins switching beds and sleeping with each other's husbands to see if they would know who they were spiritually, if they were identical. And Set realized who it was, okay? Yeah. So again, the cheetah and Horus linked together. The cheek mark, like a cheetah. And that's where we ended up at the last video, which came up with Richard Wilkinson, where I went to go back to Kendra Wilkinson and related that to the Kendra trending on TikTok. And that's how you decode your birthday and then able to understand the timelines we're in now. So do a deep dive on Horus so you can learn more about Horus, because his energy is part of your energy as well. And go bowling and realize that it's a whole ritual in the resurrection of the Mandingo. And remember, Horus, whore, cheater. Those are the energies, okay? And think about left eye. Think about your OD and your OS. When you go to do an eye exam, they call it not left eye and right eye, but they usually call it oculus dexter and oculus sinister. Sinister. Think about Oculus the movie. Sinister being your left eye and Dexter being your right eye. Think about your right eye, the eye of Ra. The Dexter, the movie, the TV show Dexter. So that's how you do like coding with what's happening in real life. So again, the cheater is also a pair of glasses or sunglasses, and we're talking about left eyes and right eyes. The cheetah, the left eye, the pair of glasses, are a person who acts honestly in order to gain an advantage. So you're always going to be able to kind of go into the spiritual realm and pull out things naturally without doing much research, because the world's supposed to be easy, not so hard. I need my cheaters, my eyeglasses, my OD, my OS. When someone passes away, they OD'd Dexter. Your eyes ODing is a sinister thing, which goes with your cheaters. Left eye sinister, right eye is Dexter. So left eye was taken out sinister, okay? And don't forget Hor and Horus. So we're going to Ophiuchus next, which is your other sign, which has to do with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Oracle of Delphi.